Good morning, everyone. It's Sarah, and welcome to Coffee and Crochet with Sarah. In case you don't know, Halloween is just a couple days away, and it is snowing like crazy here in Parker, Colorado. And it says it's going to snow for 3 days. I feel so sorry for all the trick-or-treaters because where are you going to trick or treat if we've got 5 to 10 inches of snow, right? Well, one thing I really want to say is because the fun part about trick or treating, of course, for kids is to dress up, right? So if you have some kids and the snow is deep up to your hips like it is here, call around to some of the nursing home and assisted care facilities and see if you can trick or treat at some of those places because they love to see the children. My mother used to work at a nursing home in Oklahoma, and they would love that when the kids would come in and they'd give them, just little tiny pieces of candy. But the fun is for them to see the kids all dressed up in their costumes. So trick or treat! Good morning, everyone. I was having a little bit of connection problem because of the amount of snow and the wind. And so I was a little concerned, so I started about 30 seconds early. So I want to say hello to everyone, Dawn and Tina and Susan, Michelle and Karen, Aurora and Darla. Let's go on down here. Karen, Lucy, Angela, and Charlotte. Teresa and Kimberly are here so far. Just in case you don't know, those of you who are watching this over on YouTube, we live stream this video to the Facebook page at Posh Pooch Designs on the Facebook page, 9:30 a.m. just about every Tuesday, unless I'm sick or the weather's crazy and it won't let me. I did struggle a little bit this morning with Instagram. It wasn't working. So we did the pre-video just a little bit different, and it ended up posting it twice to my Facebook page. So you just never know what's going to happen, right? So you just kind of roll with the punches and keep on going. All righty. Well, let's clink in. And look at my cup. It says trick or treat. What am I today, a trick or a treat? Well, the coffee in my mug is my treat. So, a lot of people don't really celebrate Halloween, and that's okay. One of the best parts about it when I was a kid was just dressing up. And I used to remember we would get home, because we used to trick-or-treat around our neighborhood, and we would get home, and my mom would be like, okay, no candy till in the morning. And we'd get up in the morning, and all the Snickers would be gone, right? My mama was a Snickers. She was a Snickers stealer. Well, I'm sad to say that when my kids were little, I did the same thing. Okay, confession time is over. Let's get started. Let's see, is there anybody else I didn't say good morning to? There's Sandy and Rosie, Jane, Jane Pendergast, Amanda, Jennifer. I had another Jane the other day. She said, you said hello, Jane, but I wasn't there. And I said, well, it must have been another Jane, but there's a Jean, a Janine, and a Gina. So maybe she heard me say hello to them as well. There's Jennifer. Let's see. Karen, Cassie. Let's see. It looks like I got everybody. And Susan. Oh, Susan said her dad took the Reese's. I'm not a peanut butter fan. I know. Everyone's like, you don't like peanut butter? Well, I kind of do, but I don't like peanut butter and chocolate mixed together. Yes, I'm a weirdo. All righty, let's get started with our conversation today. Before we do that, I wanted to see if I could show you something. I am going to click over to this other screen. And see this? This is my backyard this morning. I was going to bring this up a little so you can see a little better. There we go. And I wanted you to see this. Oh, it's kind of low. I wish it was a little bit higher, but I can't get it any higher. But these are deer in my backyard, and it's snowing like crazy. I just did this little short video. There we go. You can see them better now. Anyway, I thought that was fun. I thought that was a lot of fun. And you'll notice now we're over to the top cam. And what we're going to do is talk about chains. And a lot of people have asked me, let me scoot my chair over a little bit. I'm a new crocheter, or I've been crocheting for years, and I make my chain and I don't know where to start crocheting. All right, so what I've got here is just a chunky number 5 yarn. It's Soft Essentials and my J hook. And so we've made our slip knot and we've changed some chains. Okay, so then the pattern says double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, where do we place that double crochet? All right, so let me talk to you just a little bit about what I call the anatomy of the chain. All right, so here is your basic chain. And you'll notice there are loops up here, there are loops back here, and there is even, if you turn it over, some loops on the bottom. And you can chain or stitch in any, look at there, there's a piece of glitter. You can stitch in any of the chains and you're going to get a different look. Most of the time, when a pattern tells you to stitch in the 4th chain from the hook or whatever, 2nd, and you're stitching along, you're going to stitch in these up here. And these are called your back loops. Those are your back loops back there. The ones that are away from you, those are your back loops. And most of the time when you're beginning a project and the pattern does not tell you where to place your stitches, you're going to place your stitches in the back loops. Here's a single crochet in the back loop. 1, I'll make a couple, 2, 3. That's just basic. And a lot of times you'll have, and not a lot of times, but if you stitch in those stitches, you will have those loops run across the bottom. All right, now, if a pattern says stitch in the 1st chain, but stitch in the front loop, you're going to go down here and stitch in these front loops. And sometimes it is a little more difficult. And sometimes a pattern will tell you that because it's looking for my yarn splitty. There we go. It's looking for a specific look. So I'm holding the chain up and I'm stitching in these front loops. And then you're going to get your row of loops that are unworked on the top. All right, so just so that I'm clear, and I didn't say it wrong because I could have. When you're looking at the top of your chain, the loops that are up here that are away from you, those are your back loops. Your loops on your chain that are over here are your front loops. And that's true with any stitch that you have. If I had a row of double crochets, I would have back loops and I would have front loops. Your back loops are facing away, your front loops are facing you. Now, if you take your chain and you turn it over, there's a row of loops that are on the bottom of your chain. Those chains are called the bottom bumps or the bottom loops. I've also heard it called the ridges, the ridge loops. People call them different things. Most of the time you'll see them in a pattern called the bottom bump or bottom loop. And it's a really neat way to stitch because let's say my pattern said to stitch in the 4th chain in the bottom bump. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to turn my chain and place my double crochet in that bottom bump. And I'm going to make a few more stitches because I want you to see the way that it looks. Whoops, there we go. All right, so I made 4 stitches. And what happens is, if you look down here, you've got this nice almost looks like a braid where those 2 loops are along the bottom of your project. And it's a really nice technique if you're making, say, a hat band or a headband or something that you want that braid to show. All right. Now, something that I do that helps me out is if I'm asked to make a long chain, you'll notice I've got some stitch markers here. I'll do 10 or 20 chains and then mark it with my stitch marker. And I'll just slide that in there. And then I'll keep, I pulled that too tight, didn't I? And then I'll keep right on stitching my next 10 or 20. And it depends on how many chains the pattern has asked me to start with. And I do this also with the foundation chain. If I'm doing a single, half, or double, or triple foundation chain, I'll count them the same way. If it's a really long chain, I'll do 20. If it's not, maybe it's 30 or 40, I'll mark them every 10. And the reason I do that is I can just count 10, 20, 30 and not have to keep recounting, you know, all those chains. All right, so let's review just for a minute to make sure we understand what I'm talking about when I say the anatomy of a chain. I messed that chain up a little bit right there because I tried to stitch through the thread. All right, so we have our chain, we have our back loops on the back side away from us. We have our front loops that are facing us. And then if you turn your chain over, you have your back bumps or loops. And that looks a little messy because I was stitching in there. All right. Just so that you get an understanding. I get the question all the time. The pattern doesn't tell me which chain to stitch in. And if the pattern doesn't tell you, stitch in those back loops. All righty. Now, sometimes the pattern won't tell you. And if it's something, say a blanket or even a scarf or something that's going to be long, you can change and do your stitches in those back bumps. It's kind of like you decide how you want the pattern to look. But there are reasons a lot of times that a pattern will tell you where to place those stitches on that chain. For the most part, they really don't, unless they want something, you know, a particular look that they do. All right, I hope that answered some of those questions. You know, sometimes when you've been crocheting for a really long time, you don't think about it, you just do. And so when I want you all to understand that if you're a new crocheter or you haven't been crocheting very long, it is totally okay to ask basic questions. Mostly because I don't want you to be frustrated and quit. I want you to love crochet and yarn like I do. All right. All right. So like I said, I hope that answered that question. Anybody else pop in that I didn't see? Let's see. There's Lisa and Carol, Aurora, got Dawn and Susan, Christine and Stacy. Let's see. There's Beulah and Patty, Sandy. Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you didn't have any trouble clicking in today. Like I said, I've been having just a little bit of trouble staying connected because of the snow and the wind and the storm. So hopefully, they said it's going to snow for 3 days. So I got plenty of food and yarn. I'll be fine. All right, so let's do a second clink in because it looks like a lot of people came in late. Clink! Trick or treat! All right, Kimberly says sometimes she goes in the back bumps because it makes a nice smooth end. And that's the truth. It really does. And also, she's talking about how sewing the ends together, easier to sew the two ends of your project together. And that's true as well. It gives you that nice edge that you can sew them together. And see, that's where you can use your creative juices and decide how you want to do it. Because remember, a pattern is just a pattern. And you can think outside the pattern. I tell you that all the time. I think, to me, a pattern is a guide. It gives you instructions on what the designer did and how, my hair's sticking up, and how you can make the pattern. But you can always change up a pattern. You can always add more frill, or you can simple it out any way you want to. And that's why I always say, think outside the pattern and let your creative juices flow. You use what you know. It's kind of like I get this question all the time, can I use the magic circle? Of course you can. You do what works best for you. I prefer to do the 5-chain method because I think it holds tighter and stays put. But you may prefer to do it a different way, and that's totally okay. Because it's art, you know, and you want to use your creative juices. Alrighty, so what's happening this week at Posh Pooch Designs? Now, I don't have any new yarns to show you this week. We've been really busy. We had some meetings at church, and so we've been real busy, and the snow, and I haven't done much shopping or looking around. But I have been looking online, and there are a lot of fun new yarns that have been coming out, like the one I showed you last week, the Heat Wave from Red Heart. But I do want you to know, today is the last Tuesday in October. And so next week is the first Tuesday in November. And what happens on the first Tuesday in November? Giveaway! We'll start our November giveaway next Tuesday. And remember, the way they work is I'll show you the first Tuesday of the month what the giveaway is. And then you'll have 2 weeks to comment. And then at the second or the third Tuesday of that month, I will announce the winner of the giveaway. And I'm not going to tell you anything about this next month's giveaway because you're going to love it. And you'll be able to use it to make some Christmas gifts. I'll put it that way. I wonder if it's yarn. Of course it's going to be yarny. All right, let's get back to what's happening this week at Posh Pooch Designs. Well, I had someone ask me if I had a turkey hat. Well, this is the turkey hat that I made. He's a little crazy turkey. I love it. So this is my leaf jumper hat, and you can find that in my playlist or on Ravelry. And then I made the curls, the eyes, the beak, and the little, I call this a gobble. I don't really even know the official term. But they're all from my turkey headband. Oh, he's upside down. And this is, I love this headband. So what you can do is you can take the pieces from the headband, if you don't want a headband, and you prefer a hat, and put those pieces on the hat. And you can see they look totally different because this guy is pretty silly. This one's pretty silly too. And I love these. I think they make great photo props. I think you should make one for everybody that's coming to your Thanksgiving dinner. Make them all put one on and take a big silly picture. Because they're super fun. And then wear them outside if it's snowing or you still just have leaves everywhere. And just take some fun pictures. If your family likes to get out and play the football, mine never did. It was my mom and a bunch of girls, so we never really played football. But we would always play bingo. And we always had this thing where everybody would bring crazy prizes, and you'd have them all wrapped up, and a lot of them were really crazy. And so we'd play bingo, and then you'd have to pick, if you won, you had to pick out of the bag with the crazy prize. You never knew what you were going to get. So a lot of fun. And that's what we did this week. Now the pattern for the headband ear warmer, and I'm calling it a headband ear warmer because it's pretty wide, with the turkey face on it. Now this, look at the texture on this. This just makes a really nice head warmer, even if you don't want to put the turkey stuff on it. But that is on the blog as well as a video. And then this hat here, which is, this is what it looks like plain. This is what it looks like with the turkey face. This is my leaf jumper hat that I did last year, and it's free on the blog as well as a video. All right, so there's something you can do. And the thing is, you can use your leftover yarns and make them crazy and silly, all different colors, whatever you want. I made one, oh my goodness, probably 4 or 5 years ago, that someone asked me for, all in pinks, purples, and then a bright yellow beak. So you can do whatever you want. All right, now yesterday we did the video and the brand new pattern for the snowman gift bag. And this is the original one. It's a really nice size. It measures about 8 across flat and it's about 10 inches long. And the picture that I took, someone said, the snowman looks mean. His face was kind of bunched up. I guess I should have looked at it better before I took the picture. But this is the one in the original Christmas colors. And then I did the video with the blue and yellow. And the reason I do that sometimes is because I want you to see that it can be made in different colors. But also this, I used a really deep red and on this one, and deep red doesn't video well. That's why you'll see when I show you the eyes that I do it in a beige so you can see how to do it. Because black yarn is really hard to video. But these are super fun. They make good gift bags, goodie bags. You can bake some cookies, put them in a zip bag, stick it inside, or whatever that you want to do. And you can also stuff it with like polyester fiber fill and then just close it at the top and hang them up. And they're just cute, cute little snowmen. And you can change the colors up, change the smile. Like this one here's got a little bit of just a cute smile. This one's a little bit quirky because I made it go up a little. I guess that's why they thought he was mean. But anyway, I just love them. They're super fun. So, and I have another one coming. I'm going to do a Santa and an elf bag that I think you're really going to love, just so you can have some more gift bags that are be different and amusing. And the neat thing about these is you can use whatever colors that you want. I thought about doing this in like a beige and maybe putting a yellow spot, you know, because you're not supposed to eat yellow snow, and maybe putting a dog bone on it or something like that for my dogs. Like I said, a pattern is just a guide, and you need to use your creative juices and choose whatever colors that you want. And let me tell you, I already had a couple of people post some pictures. Go to my Posh Pooch Designs page and post pictures. I love to see what you've done, how you've changed it and made it in your own colors. I mean, these would be awesome in school colors. I bet you could sell these like crazy at craft fairs if you did these in school colors. I mean, because when I was doing craft fairs, which has been a few years ago, I always tried to have some headbands or some hats or boot cuffs or different things that were in the area school colors around. And I'm telling you, they always sold really, really well. I never used a mascot or anything like that, just the colors. And it sold really well. Like up here, there's lots of different school colors, but everybody loves the Denver Broncos. Well, they're not playing that great right now, so maybe everyone doesn't love them. I shouldn't say that. But anyway, they do. And so I would use like the orange, and I think it's royal blue, I can't remember. You know, and I didn't do that well up here. But down south, oh my word, because I'm from Oklahoma, and everybody loves their schools, whether it's elementary, middle school, high school, you know, college colors. Don't use logos. You can get in trouble with copyright if you use logos. But the colors, you know, and they don't have to be the exact colors. They can just be, you know, similar. And I'm telling you, they sell like crazy. Anyway, just a little tip if you do the Christmas sales. I don't do them anymore. I just don't have the time or the want to. And the last couple that I did weren't that terrific, and so I just sort of backed off from it. Yeah, Stacy says it's cold and snowy there too. She's going to bundle up the kids for trick-or-treating. It's gonna just not be fair, you know, to have so much snow and not be able to trick-or-treat. Although my town, they do a thing downtown. I think they did it Saturday. I can't remember. And they just, you just walk around all the stores and stuff, and people park and open their trunks, and they can give out candy and stuff like that. So anyway, like I said, call around to some of the nursing homes. And even if you're just out going to some of the parties and stuff, because I know a lot of churches and schools and different things have Halloween parties to help keep the kids off the street. Well, on your way there or on your way back, call around to some of the nursing home and assisted care facilities where a lot of the older people and veterans as well are at. They love to see the kids. They do. They love to see the kids all in their princess and superhero costumes, and I know the kids love that too. And even they may not give them very much candy. You know, they don't have much money. But it's not about the kids and the candy. It's about the seniors, you know, that are in these facilities that can't get out. And, you know, just that little human contact would just be wonderful for them because they love the kids. They do. They love to see them all dressed up. So anyway, my kids are all grown up. My grandkids, my youngest one, she's going to be a hedgehog because she is hedgehog crazy. And she has a little pet hedgehog. And so her mom found her a costume. So they're going to do that. She's going to be a hedgehog. Now my two older grandkids, my oldest one's almost 12 and the other one's going to be 11 this spring. And I don't know if they're too old to trick or treat or not, but I told them not to worry about it. Just dress up and go trick or treat. They're not close enough where I can steal their Snickers, so I can't believe I confessed to you that I used to steal my kids' my kids' candy. You know, I read a survey and it said 75% of parents and grandparents steal a little Halloween candy from their kids and grandkids, okay? I think it's okay, right? We paid for the costumes, isn't it? All right, that's enough silliness. I don't have anything else for you other than to have a wonderful Halloween. And I hope that where you're at, the snow isn't as crazy as it is here and you can get your kids out and trick or treat. And remember, it's about the kids and having fun and, you know, bundle up and have a good time. All right, I'm going to leave you on that silly note. Trick or treat. That reminds me. When we were growing up, we used to say trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. And I decided with my kids I didn't really like that. So I would say something similar to trick or treat. We like treats. Give us something good to eat. Anyway, all the silliness aside, have a really great week. And I'm glad the connection held out and we could have our time together. Bye-bye now.